When people were wanting to start another organization, and that is simply because there is always a new step that we take towards betterment, and we take a new step towards improving the system or addressing a particular need. To be involved not just 4 days before budget, as we move along, I would definitely say that we should definitely have a synergy. We are very happy that the government did not change the duties on, let's say, an EV, because the automotive sector does not have defaults as such when you look at it. NAIMA is an association. We will not help companies. Companies have to run on their own. And I think we are there for collective voice. Just because somebody went to some auto show in China, found something which was not taken, and you just bring it. And we don't want elections in this organization. So I think, there's a lot of buzz I know about this one thing, because it's not a surprise. It started about 4 or 5 years ago when people were wanting to start another organization, and that is simply because NADA is a very old, good organization. There's nothing wrong with it, and that is why another organization was formed. It is completely because it's a very large organization with 3,000 members plus. So what is happening is, and you have right from garages, rentals, spare parts, to everybody who's related or remotely associated with automobile, they are part of NADA. I even hear that they are, certain journalists and people, if you are anything to do with auto show or you are part of NADA. But as the backbone of the auto industry in Nepal, the automobile importers, manufacturers, assemblers, they are the ones who are actually representative of the international companies who give you the authorization to run this operation in Nepal. You appoint the dealers according to their their specific needs, their KPIs. There is so much investment which goes into the operation. Your spare parts have to be stored as per the requirement of the parent company. The investment there also is very, very intense, and also then the service needs regular regular trainings, and then you have people coming back and forth to check how you're storing your parts and everything. A lot goes into an automobile industry for a distributor. So we cannot lose focus from the distributors, who are the importers, or they might be going into assembly or later on manufacturing. So that is why, and that is from where the need for a NAIMA came in. Now, I wouldn't say frustration, but I think, let's say, there's always a new step that we take towards betterment, and we take a new step towards improving the system or addressing a particular need. And I think that is the whole reason. No, so I will tell you one thing, I'm part of NADA and I'm now also part of NAIMA. So the thing is that, the level of involvement, of the importers as themselves in NADA was not optimum. And that is why in NAIMA, what we are saying, it is a member-led organization. We are forming committees which will be run by the members. We have 7 or 8 committees, and so starting with policy and advocacy, which is going to be under the president. As of now, it's under me. So, and then we have media and customer education, which is being run by Mr. Cabinet Shrestha. Traffic and again customer addressing is again with Saurabh Jyoti. Innovation is with Yamuna Shrestha. Nirakar ji is responsible for workforce training and better practices. Shekhar Golcha ji is looking at the data and data compilation. So we have a lot of these. I hope I've not missed any committee, but so we have all of these committees where the members will be involved. And what we want is, we want the members to be involved not just 4 days before budget in this organization. We want them to be driving this for betterment of the customer, better customer education, better policy advocacy with the government or with related bodies, be it traffic or XYZ. So that is the whole intention behind NAIMA. So actually, see, we want that, we should drive all these agendas through the committees, and as a president, take it on the overall side. And then we also want to make our secretariat very strong, where they also have a regular, correspondence or regular meetings with the related bodies. The whole point is how to make it very well oiled right now through all of these efforts. And it is not a problem that you have to. My suggestion is, and my wish would be in future, how do we see a very clear guideline for a NAIMA, how they are going to do the auto show. If NADA is going to do an auto show, what could be covered, and maybe that will lead to the enlargement of the pie of the automobile. Because there are so many ancillaries, there are so many spare parts and so many other verticals of automobile that could be maybe addressed from another auto show. Well, possibly. I don't know. At this point of time, I think we want to form NAIMA a little bit more, because it's just too new. We are just 3-4 months old. And as we move along, I would definitely say that we should definitely have a synergy, even if we don't merge, or let's say we merge, on what grounds? And if not, then let's have a good synergy between the two. So we are starting these series where we want to do customer education, let's say media education, government policy advocacy, and all of those. So we are going to be starting these think tank series or learning series, learning for us, so that we can further go ahead and lobby for what our customers want, what the client wants, how they want the traffic to improve, how would they want the workforce training to be done to improve the capacities of the workers, how do we want to bring in the best practices from around the world into the country, how will we implement those best practices at every distributorship of different brands. So there are a lot to be done, and there's so much still out there to be done. And then, like, let's say, we had somebody who was talking about this, that we are very happy that the government did not change the duties on, let's say, an EV. So, how to give more consistency to policy for a longer time. At the same time, how should the frameworks be made around every platform, be it EV? Okay, like somebody was here before that who was very concerned about the safety of the EV and the customers, and for the repairs and for everything. This is something I'm sure all the importers who are bringing in the cars will be addressing or are already addressing, but maybe the government can also make a framework which is for the customer, how to make it safe, and they must have this confidence that what we are buying is 100% product that we actually invested in. Vehicle financing, of course, our recommendation for the monetary policy has been that, if we can across the board, be it EV, hybrid, ICE, all the cars should have a 80-20 funding from the banks, financing, and if we can have the risk weightage for the auto sector be reduced to 75%, right now it's at 100, because the auto sector does not have defaults as such when you look at it. It's a very safe zone, and on top of that you have the collateral of the car which is with you, so the banks are never a loser. So why do we need such a high risk weightage? So basically these are the few things that we are looking at. See, NAIMA is an association. We will not help companies have to run on their own, and I think we are there for collective voice. So you have seen that, okay, the collective voice would be, please give stability to the duty structure, to the tax brackets, to financing, because the thing is, everything makes an impact on the importer who's importing those cars. What has happened? Why do you see 6,000-7,000 units coming into the country before the budget? Because everybody was so afraid that the duty is going to go up by 20 to 30%. Now, when it does not go up, they are overstocked. The same thing could have come in smaller tranches, and what would happen is the business flow would be better, the earnings would be better, and your your citizens of your country earning money is the best thing that you can do. It's going to have a trickle effect. So policy stability is what we should be doing for. I think we are talking of it a little too late in the day, because we have, I think, almost last year we had an entry of 27 new EV vehicles which came in. But the thing is that, this is a wonderful point, and I think it is not just you. Every person who's coming to interview me is asking, what are we going to do to make it a good investment, and what should be the policy around this anti-dumping? Anti-dumping, now the thing is that, are we going to bring in vehicles which have no standing anywhere in the world? Just because somebody went to some auto show in China, found something which was not taken, and you just bring it without verification of the parent company, without verification of the product, without the verification of where all it is available and how good is it running. I think a policy framework needs to be made around it, and I would think that would be very much an agenda, should be an agenda of NAIMA, which is a collective voice again. So yes, that should be definitely. We want to keep it very apolitical, and we don't want elections in this organization. We want it to be member-led, where the member says, okay, I've taken the first step. After me, we are going to have 2 people in the ladder who will be the next president, and after that, 1 more president. Then once the next president takes over, the second one after me takes over, then he decides who's another 1 person. So we should have a ladder of 2 people. So that is something that we are definitely going to look at, and we drive all the agendas through the member board. No, there's no conflict of interest, because see, what the thing is, we have a board of 11 people right now. So we have a framework where we've already made that, after I finish, I should be on the board for 1 more year at least for continuity. After that, whoever takes it on, the board will also have to have a rotating thing. And after all, we are 50, 60 people in the end in that organization. It's not going to be more than that. But that is the maximum number of brands that you've already brought into the country. Now, maybe what we feel is, somebody gave a very nice simile of that, this car situation, the EV situation right now is like mobiles right now. There was such a clutter, but finally the good ones will survive. And that good ones is that identification. We need a framework, and if the government makes that framework, would be a very, very good idea, because that will decide that the customer is buying the right thing, and they're not going to be in for a surprise at some point of time very soon. So I think that will decide, okay, once the board will keep rotating, from those 50 people is what we have to take up. The first one is 2 years, because by the time I form this organization, will be, we are starting from the start, from hiring secretariat to, making documents, how to document, what will be the JDs and all of that. So why I would say is NAIMA is taking up a lot of my time is because of all of these little nitty-gritties. Then after that, we are planning on a term of 1 year. So I think for me, how I look at any position or any capability is not by gender, but I feel it's more about capability. And thank you to all the members who have thought that I am capable enough to run this organization. And also, I think it is one thing, because I think as a perception, because of my previous background, the perception's always been very related to beauty and things and all of that. So it's very hard for people to imagine that I could be running a business or anything. This only makes it public. I have been running a business for a very long time. So, and if it gives a boost to a lot of biases, I hope I'll be happy if I can break it. If you're coming, depends on what you're coming in as. If you're coming in as an importer, please be responsible about what you bring. If you bring, be very 100% sure that you have the back end 100% ready. If you're coming in as somebody who's going to be running the organization, I would hope that if you're in the service side, have great qualification, believe in education, and let's drive it with good ethics forward. Well, I hope to see you all at the NAIMA Mobility Expo from the 6th to the 10th of August, and we hope to give you a better experience than what you've been having before.